All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bandziggle Office Hours. This week, we're going over something exciting. The last time we did something like this, it got a really good response and people really appreciated it. Got some really good comments of people who actually asked for more design inspiration. So I thought, why not? You know what? We had a really amazing blog post published a couple of weeks ago on the Bandziggle blog going over what we think are currently 10 of some of the best designed Bandziggle websites. So everybody's always looking for inspiration, right? That's why platforms like Pinterest are so popular, or even any social media platform like Instagram. So, especially when it comes to anything design focused. So, when it comes to designing your music website, it really helps to see what other people are doing to get an idea for what you could do with your own website, to see how they're making use of their visuals, where they're making their music available, where they're placing their videos for streaming, all that good stuff. So, we're going to take a look at that. I see we have a couple of people in here already. The nature of these lives, people come in and out, which is great. So feel free to say hi in the chat as we go here. Let me know your name, where you're from. One thing I would like you to do, as always, I always ask this, post a link to your website in the chat as well. Let me know what kind of music you play. Would love to learn a little bit more about everybody's in here hanging out. And I'll get the screen share started and we'll jump right into this design inspiration. But say hi anytime along the way. Let me know if you have any questions about website building in general, any questions about marketing your music online. Feel free to post the comments in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, you can always post your questions in the comments section. And getting my screen share going here. And the beauty about doing that is I can always get to them after the fact. Okay. Let's get the screen share going and jump right into this. All right. Number one, Coco Prosecco. So this is a Bandziggle member who put together a really streamlined, beautiful, well-organized website. So let's take a look at it and see why. So they have a couple of pages here at the top, which is a really interesting choice. It's not your standard sort of home, photos, music, so on and so forth. As you see when you first land on the homepage here, if you scroll down, they do have all that good stuff that you're looking for. So all that information is there, but they have a really creative use of menus here at the top, so you can click to go to their upcoming events. And what happens when you click on that, it jumps down to that particular section of the page. So that is something that you can do with Bandziggle websites. You can add a section of your website to your main menu. So what happens when you click on that menu button, it jumps right down to that section of the page, creating that kind of like one-page scrolling style website. If that's something you're curious about setting up, and I'm going to mention this a couple of times during the live, as I always do, click on your help tab and open a chat bubble. Talk to somebody on our support team. There's 0 wait times in chat. You can jump right in. No bots. There's, a lot of people have chat bots these days. They kind of filter people out, ask you a bunch of probing questions to start with. And then if they can get rid of you without transferring you to a real person, they will, and they'll just direct you to a help article or tell you to email somebody. But our help team is amazing. No wait time. You get to talk to a real person right away. So definitely make use of the chat bubble there if you're curious about setting up sections in your main menu, and they'll walk you through how to do that on your website. So they have those buttons that jump right down to those sections, which is great. They have their social media icons here at the top, which is perfect. Make them as visible as possible. You want people to be able to find you on your socials as easily as possible. I like that they make use of different section color backgrounds here. So that transition from the black background behind their logo to that hot pink, and then scrolling down to white. If you notice here, this kind of jagged pattern that they have, these are our brand new section shapes that we launched not that long ago. So in that sort of transition between different sections of your website, you can add shapes to it that'll create that effect there. And there's a whole selection of different shapes that you can choose from. And they have their music here. So they have some live tracks available for download, which is awesome, recorded mixes. And they have an electronic press kit. This is a really solid, compact website with just really essential information for them, everything that they think people might need to know. And I like the transition again from section to section, making use of the shapes, but also the different background colors here that really set their branding and make it clear. So there's nothing wrong with having a really simplistic website with not too much on there. If you are going to be doing that, this is a really good example of how to make use of those section colors and the transition shapes to get that done. So that's a great first one to take a look at. Let's take a look at our number 2 here, and this is Waxie. I love this theme. This is really cool because what this particular theme does is it allows you to add this really cool sort of textured overlay onto your header image. So you can just kind of peek through and see the image behind it. This isn't going to work for every image. So it really depends what your photo is. It really depends on where the important part of the photo is positioned within it. So when it goes behind this overlay here, making sure that not too much of it's cut off. So it really depends on the picture that you're going to be using, but in this case, it works really cool. It works really well. Again, made use of their site-wide social icons there at the top, which is great. And another cool thing about this theme is it really works well if you want to have one solid background color scrolling all the way down, which they do here. So they start off with their bio, which is great. Latest tracks there for streaming, studio photos, perfect, really simple, really easy. Links to their socials. This is a great, really brief, again, compact website for somebody who might not have a lot of content. This is a good sort of base to have up there to start with. So at least you have a presence online in this way and you have your website set up, which is great. Again, we haven't talked about that in this live yet, but we've talked about this before, where having a website is really good for your search engine optimization. So having that sort of central hub, that central base that'll get indexed into Google that links back and forth from your different socials, it just helps sort of propel you up in these search engine rankings to make you seem more important in the eyes of search engines like Google, which is always the goal here. So pretty simplistic site, not too much to say here. Again, I do love their choice of theme. This is a really good use of it. Maybe, one thing I would say would be, instead of having a separate contact page, because they have the scrolling one-page site with everything here, I would just add that contact form at the bottom and have everything just consistent as a one-page scrolling site. Another thing that they could do is they could always add a merch store. This is something that they could do. Merch stores are really simple and quick to set up. We just released a video on the channel actually on full walkthrough on how to set up a merch store on your website. So if that's something that you're looking to do and you're curious about, you can always check that out. It'll walk you through it step by step. But the good thing is, a lot of people think that in order to sell merch, they have to have the merch ready to go already, right? So they have to design the merch, they have to order a whole bunch of inventory up front, have it stored, and then they can sell it and ship it out and fulfill the orders. That's just not the case anymore. So we have an integration with a merch fulfillment service called Printful. So you can just design any kind of product you want, slap your branding on it, put it there, and it's ready to go. And then people buy it. What happens is you get your cut of the sales, and then they fulfill the order. They send it off to, they make it, they send it off to them, and you get your cut. Again, completely commission free. On our end, we don't take any cut of those sales, which is really cool. And you don't have to buy all this inventory up front. So there's no monetary investment involved. All right, let's take a look at number 3 here. Again, people popping in and out. Anybody who's here, let me know your name, where you're from, what kind of music you play. Always curious to meet and chat with our members here. They're popping in. Lacey Morgan. Okay, this is really cool. I love these kinds of themes that have these header image borders like you see here. It's a really kind of easy built-in way to add a nice sort of stylistic flair to the website. This is, of course, a great header image that they have here. Draws the attention over to the right, so it's kind of balanced to the right, which I like, which matches up with their social media icons there. It's separate from the title. It doesn't overlap, so it just balances really, really well. One beautiful thing I like about their site is, as you scroll down here, they make use of background images. So section background images, you'll see behind every section, they have that sort of transparent image. What I like about what they did was, each background image that they chose for their sections relates to something that's in that section. So here they have this image that's on display along with their bio. That same image is there in the background. Here, the album artwork for their album Firelight is the background image that's there in the back as well. And same thing for this section here for this release, I Really Loved You. So it's a really good creative way to sort of create cohesion there in the graphics that you're going to see behind the content and the content itself. And it's just a built-in choice for you. If you're wondering, okay, if I'm going to add a background image, what image am I going to use? It's built in, use whatever's there in the content of the section, and it matches up really well. Just like anything else we're going to talk about here, if you are going to be doing any of the things that we show here, like section background images or adding a section to your menu. Again, if you're curious about how to do it, I'm not going to be walking through these things here, but definitely reach out to the support team in live chat. They're amazing. They will hold your hand and walk you through it every step of the way. And again, there's no wait times in live chat, so no need to worry about that. And as again, no chat bots, which is awesome. Julian Taylor up next. The first thing you notice about Julian Taylor's website is the color selection's great. I like the sort of black with this, I don't know what you would call this, kind of like grayish green color, right? That sort of tan gray green. The font, really crisp, well chosen, but it's all about the header image here. And one main thing to keep in mind when it comes to your website is that the header image is really going to make the site, like what you see over here. If you have a really great effective header image, everything else just falls into place. The rest of the site just sort of orbits around this beautiful main image. So choose your image well. It's very, very important. So they have a really good sort of, one thing that I maybe recommend, the design of this site is what really stands out. If I was critiquing sort of like the content and the structure of it, I would say that maybe this is too many menu buttons here. There's maybe one or two more than I would recommend. We normally recommend keeping that to 8 to not sort of overwhelm the viewer or the visitor, but that's okay. So here they keep their homepage really simple, to the point, nice social media icons down there, a quote, press quote, which is great. And then they have all their different options here about shows, music, store. But this is a really great use of this theme. And what it does, again, is it really does showcase the main header image, but also the title. So the site title is really front and present there, which works really well. So if you do have an image that works well in black and white, a theme like this is good because, again, you have a background color that's really present, strong. The font is really present and strong, and it puts a good focus on the header image, but the entire screen isn't the header image. So it leaves space to show off this any color that you chose, any nice subtle color that'll match well with your header image as well as the font. So good choice of theme there. All right, let's run on to the next one. Hey Violet, this is a cool one. So this theme is great because what this does, it centers that title. So it's right there with your social media icons and your menu buttons. They have multiple header images here that scroll on a slideshow, which works really, really well. As you scroll down, they have the sign up form there. Their main goal is to get people signing up to their mailing list and to direct people to their socials as well, which isn't a bad thing. Talk about all the time how a website doesn't have to be the center of your universe. It is a hub online for people to find essential information like upcoming gigs, to buy merch, to maybe buy physical versions of albums, right? So this is kind of like a go-to spot for people, but it's totally okay to have that as a home base, but also maybe to put the focus on redirecting people back to your socials from there and just have the benefits of having a website for the search engine optimization. So it's totally okay that they have this sort of simplistic site here, and they use it mainly for their store. See, this isn't good. See, it's directing to their, when you click on that, it directs to an out-of-service Shopify store, which probably isn't the best, but maybe we'll let them know about that. And they have their shows as well that are redirected to there. So simplistic. Again, a website, the main thing that a website can offer that you can't get through your socials is really the merch store. So selling that directly through the site, again, with Bandziggle commission free, and also having a really easy to access merch calendar. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Amy Pitts. This is a beautiful site because you can see here, it looks like an image, but you see that sort of animation of the birds flying over. This is actually a header video, which is really cool. So it's a video of the stagnant image with that animation of the birds going on in the background. Really simplistic. The font that they chose for their site title here is beautiful. It works well with the white frame background there. Nice compact menu, not too many options, overloading everyone. And they have their mailing list sign up there. And of course, their different sections. So they're about, events, music, so on and so forth. The big thing that I would take away from this is the header video and how they made use of that. I think this is a really cool example of this. Not everybody really thinks of using header videos. And if they do, they think of maybe, okay, I'm going to take a 5-second clip from a video, like a live video or a music video that we did, and that'll be my header video just looping, which you can totally do. And that works sometimes. That can work a lot of the times. But you can get a little bit creative with it, and you can create something like this, which is tricks people a little bit. They think it's a stagnant image, but really there's that background animation going on with it. And it's much more visually enticing than just, a 3-second, 5-second clip of a larger video. So that was really the big thing to show from this one. So good inspiration if you're looking to really give your site a little something extra. Putting together something like this for your header and video form is a really, really cool idea. All right, what do we got next? Let's bring up the next site. All right. What's good about this one is, again, there's a really, really striking header image. But if you've seen any of the other videos on our channel that talk about branding and applying your branding to your website, how to apply your branding to your website, then this is something that they do really, really well. So the color selection, their color palette here that they chose is taken directly from the main header image, which is amazing. So you see here the color of their background site-wide music player here, the different section background colors. These were actually all colors that were taken directly from the picture here. How you would do something like that is really kind of simple. You could do that through, if you're familiar with Photoshop, I don't want to make it sound like, for anybody who's never used Photoshop, they might be like, oh yeah, you're saying it's simple, but for somebody who's never used it, it's not. If you are familiar with photo editing softwares like Photoshop, you can bring in a picture and use what's called the eyedropper tool to go in and grab any color from a picture, but you don't have to be. So there's plenty of free services online. You can just Google free eyedropper tool. Eyedropper tool looks like a little eyedropper, and you can find just free online services where you can upload a picture and pull colors from it just by clicking on the color, and it'll give you a 6-digit hex code, as it's called. And you can take that color code and you can enter it into the color pickers here in the Bandzoogle Edit Theme tab, and you can apply it to your site, which is really cool. So you don't need to have any kind of graphic design or any kind of editing experience whatsoever to be able to do that. So this is a good example for that reason. And I stress this to people all the time. A great method for choosing the colors for your site is to pull them directly from your imagery. So you see these kind of earth tones, those are all taken from there, and that blue that they use for the background of their section here is taken directly from the blue in his clothing in their pictures. So it's a fantastic example for that reason. All right. Next, who we got? Oh, Charnel Vale in chat. Hey, thanks for popping in. Corey Gulkin up next. So this is just obviously another example of a really cool header image. And this font is this theme is really cool because the font is really up front and center too over the header image, which is great. So this is a good combination of the header image and the site title. Works really well. As you scroll down, so they have everything here really ready to go. Contact information, their shows listed, some embedded videos. This is all really great. But the big thing is just the use of the header image, but also, again, another example of pulling colors from the header image. So this kind of blue that they use for all their section backgrounds is again taken directly from the header image. So it creates that kind of cohesive feel as you scroll down, which is really cool. So that's probably the tip of the day over here. If I had to give everyone, it's choose your colors wisely. And if you are having trouble finding what colors to choose, look to your photos. The Twang Bangers. I love this band name. It's amazing, especially this photo. It's incredible. The flower kind of like spewing water all over the room on fire. It's such a cool picture. So this one is really great because this theme is a little bit different than the others. What this theme lets you do is it lets you create this sort of solid color background sidebar half and half with an image. And this is probably one of the best use of this that I've seen. This is our call to action feature here. So you can have a little bit of text. This is their logo that they uploaded. Made that nice and big to fill the screen. You have the menu up there. And of course you have the social media icons. As you scroll down right away, they got their embedded music video, which is amazing, draws attention to it. To say the homepage is the most visited page on your site, obviously, when people land on it. So the content that's there, you want to have your most important content right there up front. So they scroll down and they see their video, Enough to Cry, their latest album. This is perfect promotion from it. What they did here, they used our Smart Links feature to embed that there. So this is amazing use of the Smart Links feature because the Smart Links feature can be just your regular link in bio. And everybody these days, sort of like in their Instagram profiles, will have a link in bio linking to a page like this with all their links of their socials and where you can find them. With the Bandzoogle Smart Links feature, you can add a similar kind of stacked box links like this to any page of your site. And this is a great way to promote a new album. You can have the album here, of course, and then all the different places where they can listen to it. So fantastic way. Their upcoming gigs, perfect, very well done. Latest news. I love that they're using our blog feature to post their latest news. It's a great use of the blog feature. People think that the blog feature just has to be used for a blog. If you want to write a blog, use it for news updates. Have those there. The cool thing about news updates, they get indexed into search engines. So relevant keywords can be pulled from there and people can find posts that you put here in Google as well, which really helps with discovery. And their social media icons there at the bottom. All right. So one last awesome website to look at for today's design inspiration, and that is Holy Hannah. Here we go. Yeah, the first thing that stands out here, the awesome header image there, site title, band name, overlaid there, looks great. You scroll down, embedded video there first thing, which perfectly done. Some more embedded videos, some great press shots here. Really, really good job with this. They have, obviously what looks like professionally shot photos to include here, which is always, always great. And if you do have those and you take the time to have those done, show them off. Show them off on your site for sure. But this is a really cool use of a header image. This is great. What I do want to stress on this one, the transparency, the kind of overly opacity that they have set on their site title there looks really cool. That's something you can experiment with. So two different things. If you're looking to make your header stand out a little bit, you can use the video option that we saw before, but also you can experiment with the opacity, the transparency options on your site title, like we see here, which works really well too. And there you have it, everybody. If you want some more design inspiration ideas, you can check out advancedgoal.com. There's an examples tab at the top of the page. You can click there, and we're always updating that with curated, really nice sites that are built on Bandziggle to give you some inspiration. So if you're looking for ideas or putting your site together, go check out those examples. As always, if you have any questions, you can reach out to our support team or post in the comments down below. If you haven't already, if you stumbled upon this video, give a little like to the video and subscribe to the channel. Keep an eye on it. We do videos like this once a week, these lives, but we also post music marketing industry advice on the channel a couple of times a month as well. So always good stuff and new content coming there. So keep an eye on the channel moving forward. Take care, everybody. Thanks for popping in.